Our second presentation on girdling techniques will be given by Sam Abade. Sam has been working for the Brocon Nursery for the past 25 years. In addition to his duties as nursery irrigation manager, he practices high-density orchard techniques.
Good morning, everyone. Girdling is very dangerous for the trees to do it, so we have to be very careful when we do girdling. In our ranchers, we select the vigorous branches on the tree. I walk the first thing I do, I walk the orchard and select the branches by myself. I have people who really knows how to select the more vigorous branches of the tree, and we want to learn how to girdle now. This is the branch that's been selected by me. Since we in the high density, I always have 2 or 3 branches on the tree, very young, strong trees to do it. Branches, sorry. And this picture here, we see this is the thinnest branch that we do on girdling. I say it's 1.5 inch diameter. You can see some sugars, bleeding there, since we cut the flow from the canopy to the root system, so that's the only way the sugars can go out. So for us in our places, it's no problem. That's normal, that happens. It dry out and start healing. We say 2 months, 6 months, 6 weeks or so, 2 months, we start seeing the bark is getting together back again. This is the tools that I use. It's different, 3 different sizes, depending on your diameter or your branch that you're gonna girdle. So we start with the number 1 is for 1.5 inch to 2 inches diameter. This is 4 inches long, with 14 teeth per inch. The number 2 is like 2 inches to 3 inches branches diameter. And it's a little longer, so you just need 6 inches long by 10 teeth per inch. And the number 3 is to go the 3 to 12 inches branches. That's my biggest saw that I use. You can do 12 or more, bigger diameters on the trees. And those tools you can get them on any Home Depot or any hardware store, no problem. How do we choose which trees to girdle? That's one of the most difficult parts, because sometimes we have a lot of stress in the branches, and you need to recognize what's really, really healthy branch to girdle. That's a 2 years old tree there. That's the age of you decide to do it or not, depending on the health of the tree. This tree is probably 6 to 7 feet tall, and it's a very strong tree. And that's the age that I start girdling. I normally do 50% of that tree. If you have alternate options to do a branch in that tree, you can do it leaving like 30% of the branches. So you can go probably like 2 feet right in the middle of the tree. You can do the girdle, but leaving some nurse limbs on the bottom, so the root system don't go too stressed. This is what we need to see in the trees. This guy here is a pretty strong tree, and we need to see that, not this here. I like to do 50% of the trees most of my time, because having a branch without girdle and a branch with girdle, you have the options to do one next year. In case you make a mistake doing over girdle, you still have 50% of your tree for next year. How do we choose the branch to girdle? In this case, it's very easy because we have 3 branches on the tree. We have A, B, and C. If I'm doing 50%, I want to do, one and leave one alone. But in this case, I have three, so I can go ahead and do two and leave one like a nurse limb. And when you have only two, so I already mentioned, you can do just the 50% of the tree, so you can do one branch and leave one alone. And when you have only one branch, leader centered on the tree, is when you get in trouble. And then you ask if I do it or not. So what I recommend to do it, if you have branches below 2 or 3 feet, you can girdle, leaving some below the girdle. If you don't have any branches below the girdle, so I probably don't recommend it to do it. Where on the branch? That's a good question. We have an ungirdled tree, and you see this is girdled last year. This is my red paint there from last year. So since we're in the high density, and I prune 1/3 of the tree every year, at least. So I always select my girdle like 3 feet or 4 feet high, so I can cut those and eliminate those girdles with my pruning. I don't want to see 3 or 4 girdles in the same branch. So normally I just do 2 or 3, and then the time comes, so I have to prune, so I try to eliminate. And my pruning is very low. I always prune like 2 or 3 feet high, so I can rejuvenate the branch and have a new tree. When you do a girdle on the tree that's been girdled last year, you have fruit. And it's good to girdle again if the tree is healthy, and you can girdle them again. There's no problem. The results of that, you probably get good sizes in that fruit with the girdle, because like Consuelo mentioned, all the carbohydrates stays on the canopy. And the fruit normally grows a little better, and you get little sizes earlier, which everybody wants to harvest early. So that's to get a good sizes, and then the tree has a chance to flower a little more and set more fruit when you harvest early. This is a bad branch that I want to show you not to do it. We did that one last year. It's a lot of fruit on the branch. That's why it's hanging out, and it's not a good position for the branch, so we never do those branches again. We always select the one upright, and it's a big branch and a very healthy branch, so that's the one I'm looking for. And should be 1 or 2 girdles in that branch, so I probably do one more and then start my pruning in that tall branch there. How do we know if we girdle correctly? We have a method to check that, and we call it window. This is a girdle that's been done in that branch, so we're going to check if we did it right. To check that, you just get a knife and make 2 cuts, probably like a 1/2 inch wide in there, and then if the pieces come, in 2 pieces, it's because the girdle is being well done. I can see one came loose really nice, and the other one too, so that's a nice girdle there, and I can see the width is not marked with the blade, so we did a good job in that one. That's a good girdle there. So that's the one, just right. We didn't damage the wood, and we cut 100% of the cambium. And this is too shallow. When we did the window, we normally see the one piece came to go together. So that means we didn't cut enough. And doing this is like not doing any girdles. The tree is not going to fill it. You're not going to get any results of the girdle. So that's too shallow. Don't do that. Too deep, that's a big problem. When you do this, the tree overstress, and you use probably the tree is going to defoliate more than normal, and you're going to have a lot of flowers on. But remember, when you girdle and you have a lot of fruit on the trees, you need to get a balance of leaves and fruit. So you overgrow, you're going to have more flowers than leaves, and it's going to be a big problem because sunburn is a big problem now on the trees because we have so much trees with the stress on it, and probably we have less leaves than the fruit. And those two girls is too deep, and we not should go that deep, please. In this case, I already mentioned, I like to do 50% of the tree, so this branch is being Goodall, and one is out Goodall, and one is with Goodall there. We can see a big difference. And this is our target, this is what we really wanted. But the interesting part here is the Goodall branch is very balanced of leaves and fruit. You can see a lot of fruit and flowers there. So on the Angulo branch, we probably have few fruits, but we want this. But that's a good balance between flowers and leaves. That's the results a good Goodall is being made there. And that's the results. Like I mentioned, we need to cover the fruit with leaves, so when you do a nice, perfect Goodall, you got the results. You have fruits and you have leaves, and that's the best way to go.
The best time for us it's the autumn, October, this time of the year. You would need to see your phenology and try different dates in your orchard. But for us at Broco in Santa Paula, we've defined that October is the right timing. If you want to try it and see when it works better for you, maybe you can try end of September and mid of October and see which one works better for you. But it will depend on the phenology of your tree, and then that is related to the temperatures in your conditions.
Yes, this is a sod blaze, and you can, like I mentioned, you can find them on any hardware store. The thing is depending on your size of your branch, you decide which size to use. And I think it's kind of clear what I explained. And those samples that we pass in there, I think is the one we be practicing, and they're working okay. Yes, Consuelo mentioned that we might have a very strong root stocks to do that. So we're talking about those Toro Canyon, Duke 7. They're fine to do it. They're very vigorous trees if they are being treated okay. Cutting the window, I cut the window like every 20 trees. I'm not cutting windows on each tree because it's kind of ugly, but when you have new guys, this is a practice that takes probably a year or 2 years to train your people to do it, but normally it's like, I can put an example, like playing the guitar. You can feel the strings and your fingers. So on the good, as soon as you get the heart or the wood, you feel it. And stop right there because that's the deepest you can go.
We use chlorine. I would need to look for the dilutions, but we got it from Akif Escalen from the University of California. He gave us the recipe of what we need to do. So if you write an email to the nursery, I can mail you back the exact how we dilute it so you can use it. Well, the Gilding, why we do it is to get more flowers, and I know that there are some people who have tried Gilding in different times of the year, like in fruit set, in order to keep more carbohydrates up in the tree, and that way you would get a better fruit set, but that's not the reason why we have been doing it. So I haven't got the experience for that.
Actually, we mentioned that we fertilize a lot, but normally it's not, over fertilized. Since I'm pruning third of the tree each year, so I had a lot of new vegetation on the trees every time that I prune. So my trees always have active root systems and growth. So I cannot say, the percentage of any fertilizer that I use, but I think I'm on the really top high of fertilization that you can do in the trees. But foliar analysis is the only way you know if you have the efficiency of fertilizer or you over fertilizer. And in my situation, we always get on the optimum the fertilization we can do in the trees. Never see the efficiency or anything from the trees. Yes, we have an orchard where I work. It's let's say go to 9 years old trees. The good oil start in the second year. So the first production that we got, it was in the third year. We got like 8,000 pounds per acre. High density means we working with 6 feet between the trees by 14 and a half. So we have around 460 trees per acre. So it's a lot of trees, but like I said, the third year we got 8,000 pounds per acre, and then the fourth year we went up to 15,000 pounds per acre. And now for the fourth last years, and I'm not wrong, she has more experience with the paperwork. We've been getting 17 to 18 pounds for the last 4 years, and it's been a very, very good production that we've been having for the last 4 years.